Hi guys, welcome to Linux our YouTube channel. My name is Ram Mishra and I'm your online instructor. So what's new in this video? In this video we will talk about break statement in shell script. But before start the lab session we need to understand few points, which is what is break statement and how it's useful in shell scripting. In bash shell scripting, the break statement is used to terminate the current loop entirely. When break is encountered, the loop immediately exists and execution continues with the command following the loop. So in other simple word, we can say the break statement in a Linux shell script is used to execute a loop prematurely before its normal termination condition is met. It can be used within for loop or while loop and until loops. So in this demo, we will explore the basic syntax of break statement in bash and examine how they can be used in shell script. So let's do the lab session. So here you can see I'm on my Linux terminal. Let me show you the OS series version of this VM cat etc release. This is 9.3. So let's start the first step, which is syntax of break statement. So let's go with the documentation. Help break. Here it is. The syntax is very simple. Break and inside the bracket small n. So this will show built-in help for the break statement in bash. Here n is an optional argument and must be greater than or equal to 1. When n is provided, the nth enclosing loop is existed. If n is missed, it defaults to 1, meaning it exists the innermost loop. Break 1 is equivalent to the break. So better understand how to use the break statement, let's move on to the lab session. So let me go with the first case, which is breaking from for loop, right? So breaking from for loop means existing a for loop earlier, an early condition before it's finishing going through all its iteration. Breaking means existing the loop before it has completed all its iteration. You do this using the break command when a certain condition is met. So in short, breaking from a for loop means stopping the loop early using a break statement when certain condition is met. So let's start with the first step. We create a text file using the text editor in Linux. In this case, I'm using vim editor, but you can go with anyone. So I'm using vim demo.sh, and let me copy the code from my notepad as usual, and then I'll try to explain here. So this is a very simple first code. I'll save it quick and let me go with line number and okay. So look at the code right now. So the first line is basically bin bash. This is the shebang line. It tells the system to run the script using bash shell. Then I start read -p start and then start. So basically, this prompt the user to input a starting number, and then the entered value is stored in a variable called start, right, in uppercase start. For example, if the user type 3, then the start value is 3. In the next line number 3, we have again prompt the user to input the ending number. The value is stored in the variable and, uppercase and. For example, if the user type 10, then the end value is 10. Then for loop style starting from here, and this is the C style for loop used in bash. So it start at I is equal to start, and loops as long as I is greater than or equal to and increments I by 1 each time using I plus plus. So just for the example, if start is number 3, here is number 3 and is number 10, then the loop will iterate with I is equal to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till until it reaches 10. Then in the next line we have a echo $i, this print the current value of I. Then next line we have start if condition, if $i equal to 5, then. This check the current value of I is equal to 5 or not, and then we have a echo breaking loop at I. So if the condition is true, means I is equal to 5, this line print a message that and we go next line for the break. So here on the break, this exits the loop immediately because condition got true, and even if it hasn't reached till end, means if I have 3 and I have 10, so if 5 is there, it's match, it will break the entire loop at the moment. and print the last value of $I. This is your value is I, and finally loop finish. So this is basically a simple script. Let me make it executable and run it. So chmod x demo.sh. Okay, now time to run. So I say demo.sh start point. Suppose I say 2, end point say 10. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you will notice it's end up. So let me make it one more time. I am to explain this simple script again in a simple way. This script basically asks the user for start and end number, loops through the number, and break out of the loop early if it is hits on fifth, and showing how break is used in the real world, right? So this is how it's actually work with for loop script. Let's take one more example, which break from while loop. So while loop means what? I'm using again break statement to exit the while loop before its condition become false. Or in other words, we can simply say stopping the loop early based on some specific condition you define inside the loop. So this time my requirement is that I want to print number from 1 to 10 using while loop, but halt the loop when the number 7 is reached or number 8 is reached, something like that. So let me modify my script again. I'll copy one more time. I'm here. Let me copy my second. Yeah. So now let me try to explain this script again. Again, we have started with the first line as usual shebang. It tells the operating system to use the bash shell to interrupt the script. Next line is read line. This prompt the user to enter a number less than 10 and store the entered value in the variable named count. For example, if the user enter 4, the count variable value is 4. Then the next line while loop start. The loop will continue as long as count is less than or equal to 10, right? Here it is. Then in the next line, we are echoing count is dollar count. This one. This will print the current value of count. Then in the next line, we check if condition. If block started here. It checks that if the current value count value is equal to 7 or not. Then next line echoing again on the base of the condition result, breaking the loop at count is equal to dollar count. If the current condition, if the condition above condition, whatever the condition is there, is true, like count is equal to 7, this line prints a message which is breaking the loop at count is equal to 7. And we have a break here. Break exits the while loop immediately, even if the loop condition is still true. And then similarly, we have count plus plus. So increments count by 1, and this ensures the loop eventually reached its end unless it's broken earlier. Then finally, we have done mark the end of the while loop block. And then finally, we have after the loop is done, either by reaching count is equal to greater than 10 or hitting break, this print the final value of count, and while loop terminated at count is equal to dollar count. So basically, this script is designed to stop earlier when the count reaches 7 using the break statement, and this script also handles incrementing and comparisons in structured way. So let's run the script and see the magic. Demo.sh, please enter the number less than 10. Suppose I go with 3. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now stop. So basically this script, if I go back again, basically this script takes a number from the user and loop while that number is greater than 10, less than 10, stop earlier if the number reaches 7 using break, and finally display the current value of count during and after the loop. So this is how we can use break statement with while loop condition, right? I hope you understand. Let's take one more example based on user input and exist from the while loop. This time my requirement is based on a correct password. I want to exit from the while loop. This is very common logic pattern for password checking or login attempts. So script will loop asking the user to enter the password. If enter password match the correct one, the script break out from the loop. Otherwise, it's keep prompting again and again and again. So how? Let me modify again my script. I'll go back, and this time a very simple script. which is very useful for all Linux admin. I'll copy and paste and try to understand from here. So again, as usual, the first line is shebang line. It tells the operating system to use bash shell to interrupt the script. From the next line, while loop start. This loop runs forever unless it's manually broken out. Right here we have the while loop started. So while is a keyword used to start a while loop, and true is a boolean value, right? That always evaluates to true. So while true means keep looping forever until something inside the loop stop it, right? So it will create a kind of infinity loop. It will never stop unless you explicitly break out of it. Usually mostly use break statement. Then in the next line we have read command, right? And read command is basically used to take the input from user. I'm using hyphen s and p. S is basically silent mode and p for prompting purpose, right? So input won't be shown on screen if you're using hyphen s and p for display the message, enter the password before reading it, right? And whatever the result, it will be stored inside user underscore password. That's my variable, right? Then I use next line, I use only one, which is echo. So this line adds a new line after the silent input to make output formatting cleaner. Then we have a if dollar user password is equal to Linux, then so it start if statement to check whether the enter password is Linux or not. Then in the next line, we have echo correct password access granted. It means if the password is correct, print this line, otherwise break it. So next line, we break it and exit the infinity loop and stopping the script. If it is this match, right? If it is match, then stop it and stop the script immediately. Otherwise, what happened? Next line, we have a else statement. And if the password is not correct, execute the next block and again echoing incorrect password and try it again. So, and lastly, we have a fi and done. So fi basically and the if block and done's and the while loop. So let's run it. So this is the script, right? So demo.sh, I give the wrong password. Actually, we needed Linux, but I typed Red Hat 123. No. Okay, Red Hat 321. No. This time I'm typed Linux. Yep, correct password access granted. In this short, you can see this script keeps prompting the user to enter the password without displaying it because I use s parameter -s until they enter the correct one, in my case, which is Linux. Once the correct password is entered, it prints a success message and exits. So finally guys, we are in the conclusion part, which says the break statement in bash is used to immediately exit to a loop, whether it is a for, while or until loop. That's all about this demo. Thank you for taking your time with me. I hope that it has improved your understanding of the topic. Hopefully you enjoyed and learned new things. Soon I will come up with another new interesting topic. Till then, keep practicing. If you may feel something I have missed or you wanted to know more something else, please reach out to me through my social media link, which is mentioned in the description. If you like this video, please do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel and press the bell icon button for the latest update. Thanks for watching. Stay safe and goodbye.